Alright, my name's fucking Vinny D. Today, I'm going to talk about digging into the process, trusting the process, and rewiring my brain to basically fall in love with not the end goal, not the result, right? But to fall in love with the hard work necessary to become the person who wakes up every day and does the hard work and gets the fucking, not the one time where I made a lot of money or the one time where I helped one fucking person immensely, but like consistently shows up every fucking day and just does the fucking work. And I think it has a lot to do with finding a purpose, which sounds corny as fuck. And I used to like hear shit like that, and I'm like, oh, that's fucking soft. And then I would also like listen to like all these other YouTubers and fucking content creators that are like, fuck your purpose. Like, if you just gotta fucking grind and hustle and make money. And I'm just like, yeah, like I'm just gonna grind and hustle and make money. And what I noticed is I jumped from business to business to business, doing shit that like I really didn't give a fuck about, that I really felt no purpose in doing. I didn't really feel like I was being useful to other people. I mean, that was the intention, was to like make other people more money or provide them some sort of high quality product or service, but it wasn't something that I was like passionate about. And like I used to think passion was frothy, but now I'm starting to realize that passion for me is the key that is unlocking that ability to trigger dopamine in the fucking trenches of the hard work necessary to see the big results. And I guess just to like expand on this some more, the best way I can put it is, it's like, and I talked about this in my last video on long-term thinking, but it's like to see anything through to the end, like to become great as an athlete, as an entrepreneur, if you're getting sober from drugs and alcohol, if you want to have a great marriage or a great relationship or be a great parent, right? All of these things require consistent action over unreasonable and extraordinary periods of time. So Rome wasn't built in a day, essentially. I guess most people will understand that analogy. It's like this shit just takes a lot of fucking time, right? So back to my story, it's like I've had all these periods where I'd work for like 3 months on a business. Probably like 5 or 6 times I've done this. It's from the ages of 17 to now 23. And yeah, I would make money. There was plenty of times where I would do this little fucking, I don't even want to call it a business, because it wasn't a business. Like in technically speaking, yes, it's a business. I created a product or service. I promoted the product or service. I created a system for selling the product or service, and I was making profits on the money or on the transaction. And it was good shit. Like I did a drop shipping, and I had a marketing agency and for gyms, and I had what else did I fucking do? Oh, I started a clothing line. And I had a cleaning company. I did a moving company, which I had a partner with. He actually started the business, and I like kind of joined in on it as like an operator. I sold fireworks, right? All these different things. And I would say, half of the shit I did, I don't want to say it was a waste of time. It definitely wasn't a waste of time, but like I didn't make any money from it. But the other half, I would have like a super non-linear output for like the time I put in. Like I'd put in a few fucking weeks worth of like work to get like the website set up and the correct branding and advertising and the correct product, and just like finding where my target market's hanging out and just like blasting out advertisements or blasting out cold calls. And like, yeah, I'd have to make thousands of dollars in a very short period of time, right? And those things are good. But the point is, getting back to like this whole idea of finding the love in the trenches and being able to do these hard, undesirable activities that bring success over a long period of time, all these things I chose to do as an entrepreneur between the ages of 17 and 23 years old were all things that I really had no passion for. I didn't have a love for. I didn't feel deeply. I mean, the best way I could put it is the only reason I did them was to make money. I didn't care about whether or not it was something I enjoyed. All I was thinking about is that $5,000 profit in 2 weeks, or whatever the fuck the number is in the time period. It was like I was just trying to make money fast. And like I said, it wasn't all a waste of time. I acquired a fuckload of fucking very valuable skills from just doing shit. That's a part of the problem. A lot of people like to talk and don't do shit. And like, yeah, I've been a fucking victim of my own fucking lazy procrastination in the past, but like through doing these little businesses, although I didn't stay consistent and I didn't stay sticking to one thing and just getting really good at that, which is what I'm aiming more to do now, I still learned. I learned how to run Facebook ads, I learned how to run Instagram ads, I learned how to run TikTok ads, I learned how to run Google ads, right? I learned some basic SEO. I learned how to fucking develop a landing page. I learned how to write copy. I learned how to develop a sales pitch over the phone. I learned how to craft direct DM messages over LinkedIn and Instagram. I learned what makes up a good video ad on all of these different platforms. And I learned like the different colors that are necessary to bring about a certain psychological effect within the brain of the consumer that I'm trying to persuade to buy my product or service. You know, I learned how to influence people. I learned how to persuade. I learned how to communicate. But those were all good things. But again, continuing to circle back, I never had purpose for what I was doing. It was just the money. And if it's just about the money, what I've learned is it just won't last. Like, yeah, like if it's just about the money, I might work for 3, 4, 5 months on something and, you know, it's good and I'll make money. But like, honestly, after a certain period of like making money, and, you know, for me, as a fucking 17, 18, 19, 20, 21 year old, you know, I make fucking 10 grand in a month. And like, I'm not gonna do shit. I don't have to. Why would I? I just made 10 grand. I'm gonna go fucking pick up some fucking chick and take her on a trip. And you know what I mean? Like, come on. And like, obviously, like that's not a shitload of money. It's actually nothing, right? But I mean, with 10 grand, if I didn't want to work and I was being frugal with my money, I could sit on my ass for 4 months and not have to do anything and still have my basic necessities covered and be eating good food, going to the gym. You know what I mean? So the point is like, if it's just about the money, you're not going to push into it enough to reach those like levels of greatness that I want to create for myself, and that I'm hoping that like some of the people watching this can like dig deep and find within themselves to like go fucking do. Like, that's the point. Like, if you're just doing it to be comfortable, like, that's cool too, and I respect that. Like, if you're just trying to create a life, you know, if you're trying to put in like a work for a few years and create a life of ease and comfort for yourself, I respect that. But like for me, like, I'm starting to realize I want to do big shit. Like, I want to do things that are so audacious that are like, to the 99.99% of people, are like seemingly impossible things. And I want to go fucking solve big problems, right? And like the problem I'm trying to solve here is I'm trying to get people to think bigger and get outside of the bubble and the limitations that people in society and places and doctrines and fucking teachers and all this fucking shit, all these limitations that our parents and fucking friends and environment place among us when we're young, and everyone's in such a fucking rush to get into school and like their career path and like making 40 grand a year or even like 100 grand a year and like chasing status and just all this fucking soft ass shit. Like, it's just not like, for me, I want people to think big. I want people to think big about what's possible for themselves and what's like how they can be like truly of maximum usefulness to others. So anyways, I got a little off topic there, but the point is like finding that purpose. Like, for me lately, like I follow some of the stuff like in Think and Grow Rich, where it's like developing a chief aim and like reading it out loud to yourself every day, and like just kind of creating that mental habitual pattern of like putting constant concentration upon the goal. And like what I realized is in the last 6 months, probably in the last like year and a half, after I kind of have had some like pretty big success as an entrepreneur. I mean, not huge success, but like big success in terms of like, okay, anything's fucking possible. Like especially if I'm dedicating myself on a daily consistent basis to like a specific goal, I can achieve anything. I learned that in wrestling. You know, I started off like a fucking little soft ass dude, and then in 7 years I became the best, right? You know, so it's anything's possible if you're willing to put the time and effort in. Point I'm trying to get to though is that what I realized once I knew I could do anything I wanted was like, what do I actually want to do with my life? I mean, it's 2023. I can do anything I want. The internet has given us the opportunity to basically make money doing whatever we want to do at any given point in time. So with that being said, I'm like, what actually like lights a fire under me? Like, what, like if a great question that I was recently, that was recently posed to me was, if you were given $10 million and you had 10 years to live, I mean, you're financially set. You don't actually have to, if you have $10 million in America, you don't have to worry about shit ever again. So if you had $10 million and 10 years to live, and money wasn't a fucking object anymore, what would you spend your time doing? And I've been thinking about that relentlessly. I'm like, what would I want to do? Like, I started realizing that what I want to do is what I'm doing right now, right? I want to spend time creating content that helps people and like makes them start thinking about the way I think about life now, which is like, I can fucking do anything I want, right? And I should be aiming big, right? I want to help people aim big, think big. It's just life's more exciting this way. Life's better this way for me. And what else would I do if I had $10 million in the bank? Well, I'd fucking train MMA, and I love fucking fighting. Like, I would get in the fucking cage as often as possible and like learn how to fucking choke people out in 800 different ways. I think that shit's fucking sweet. So I'd spend more time doing that. It's like, I'd also, you know, spend more time writing. I genuinely enjoy writing, journaling, reading. I love reading. Reading is literally, if I could literally get paid to just sit there and read all day, that is what I would probably end up doing. I'd live under a rock, to say the least. It's like, okay, well, like, what else would I do? Like, obviously the basics. Like, I'd want to travel the world and see what this world has to offer, spend time with the people I love, build meaningful and deep relationships. Like, these are the things I would do if money wasn't an object, right? You know, I'd go and fucking take a hike every day and go for walks like I am right now. I'd go fucking help fucking drug addicts and alcoholics recover from fucking addiction and alcoholism, because that shit sucks. And I know because I've been through it, right? I and the feeling that comes to me when I help other people through real hard shit, like that's what I'd spend my time doing if money wasn't a fucking object, right? So anyways, getting back to the purpose of things, it's like, let me then this is the way I've been looking at it, is like, okay, so all these things I love to do, it's like, would it be possible, like, back to reality, I don't have $10 million in the bank right now, but like, would it be possible to one day make a sustainable income doing the things I love to do? The answer is yes. So that's cool. And that's a really empowering fucking, it's a fact. Because there's people doing it all around you, especially if you live in a big city. Promise you, someone in your 1 mile vicinity is probably fucking doing it. So why can't you do it? And that's the question that I've asked myself 100 fucking times, which has led me to the point where I'm at now, where I'm like, I can do it, right? So then the next step would be, I'm gonna break down all of the different things I just said I love to do. It's like, okay, well, how could I make money doing this? How can I make money as a fighter? How could I make money writing? How can I make money creating content? how could I make money helping other people recover from addiction? Like, okay, these are all possible. And you play the tape through, you extrapolate it out. It's like, what would someone making money in this field do? And you start looking at these things, right? And then you pick something. You're like, okay, this is going to be my chief aim. This is going to be the goal. Like, this is like, I'm trying to make an X dollar amount a month doing this activity. And it's like, okay, realistically, not in wishful thinking, but in a realistic way, like, how long will it take me, like, to get to a point where me making YouTube videos or me writing blog posts or me, I don't fucking know, fighting, how long will it take me to get to a point where, like, we're at a bare minimum where the income that I'm making from doing that is at least enough to, like, support my living on a day-to-day basis consistently, and, like, allow me to, like, save some money for later on. And then it's like, okay, well, what activities would I have to do every day to make that a reality? So it's like, if it's fighting, it's like, how many hours a day do I need to train? Who do I need to be talking to get the fights booked? How many fights would I have to fight per year in order to make the necessary dollar amount to make this happen, right? And you start breaking these fucking huge, audacious, like, seemingly impossible things where you do what you love to make money into, like, small, bite-sized chunks that are very doable. And back to my other long-term thinking video, it's like, yeah, this shit takes time, and it's not gonna happen in 3 fucking months, dude. It's just not gonna happen. But it can happen in fucking 2-3 years if you stay down and realize that great things take time to build. Yeah, and are you gonna have to sacrifice in the beginning? Yeah, you're gonna have to say no to the fucking going out with your fucking friends. You're gonna have to say no to the fucking weekend party. You're gonna have to say no to drinking and drugs, right? You're gonna have to say no to fucking TikTok, no to fucking Netflix. But, like, it's not a fucking forever thing. It's just like, are you willing to commit to a fucking vision that you have that's going to not only make your life better, but also make you more useful, more loving and kind, and more emotionally available and physically available to the people that love you? And the question is, are you willing to make that sacrifice? Are you willing to say no to all the dumb fucking distractions and bullshit so that you can work your fucking 9-to-5 job for a few fucking years, and on the free time that you have, that extra 2, 3, 4 hours a day, spend that time working on the vision until you get to a point where you're able to step away from the job and actually make what you love to do your full-time job? And, like, yeah, maybe right away you're only making the same as your full-time job. And if your fucking vision and goal is to, you know, get really rich doing it, like, that's possible too. It's just remember, it's just like the time horizon. It's like, how much are you willing to sacrifice? How long are you willing to continue to fucking press the gas pedal on this fucking vision that you have for yourself and for your life? And again, leading back to the main reason I started this video is, like, do you care? Do you find enough purpose? Are you passionate enough about? Do you love it enough, whatever you're doing, to push for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, maybe 10 years on the pedal to make it a reality? Like, is this something you would do if the money wasn't an object? And that mindset is helping me to become more clear on what I love to do, what I'm best at, what I have to offer that the world really needs, and that I can actually provide that value, instead of trying to fucking make a quick buck or just surrendering to the fucking societal pressures and just being okay with fucking being a cog in a goddamn wheel. So I hope you got some value from this video. Vinny D. See you in the next one.